So why I'm still bullish on space? I think what people don't understand, the company is making great progress. I mean, they became a public company, they did the test flight program, they flew Richard Branson, so they are making everything right. The company is not the stock and the stock is not the company. Seeing this development in the company, even slow, but on the right track is a good sign. It's just giving the company more value over time. And that's why I'm still bullish on it. Welcome to your favorite space show, Virgin Galactic Fridays, and as always we will talk about some very exciting topics. Okay, first I want to deep dive into the storm of bad news for Virgin Galactic over the last couple of weeks. Then we will talk about why I am personally still very bullish on space, because many people are asking why you still talk about this company, will never make it, and so on and so forth. So I want to just emphasize for, the long-term holders, what's my core belief about the stock and the company and why I see a huge value to grow for this stock, okay? Then we will talk about considering to go all in at $6, and finally we will dive into the stock chart of Virgin Galactic to see if there's any new developments. And before we diving in, I want to show you something else. I got this thing here from a user, and guys, follow me on Instagram and send me messages, whatever is useful, and I will definitely give you a place in my videos, because this is apparently a comic that is about Virgin Galactic, and it's called The Final Frontier. It's kind of French, so it's kind of interesting where all this space thing goes. And obviously Virgin Galactic is one of the top space companies. Yesterday was on a crypto event, and one of my best friends said, there is an NFT company that sell one NFT for $150,000, and within they include a $50,000 balloon flight into space. So it's quite interesting. It's quite ridiculous sometimes, but yeah, I think that it's super exciting. And now let's dive in with the first thing that I want to show you is my trailer for the current course that you find here into the description, the link to, I think there's like 2 places left, okay? It's a group and also a course that you finish in 1 day, and you will day trade with me on the markets and so on. It's super interesting, guys. 2 places left, and then we will close the group, so check it out. Here's the trailer. Let me introduce you to my brand new product, X10 Day Trading. Basically, you are sick and tired of your 9-to-5 jobs like I was, then this is for you. Or you just want to get a little bit of money on the side, a couple of $1,000s per month with day trading, where you don't need to know technical analysis and where you watch only 10 videos to know the strategy that I used to 10x $2,000. Yes, in 1 month, and I did it twice. And let me tell you what comes with it: a 30-minute call with me, plus an exclusive group that is coming only with this purchase, plus a second 30-minute call with me a couple of weeks later to see if you're going. So I'm holding your hand, but obviously it's time limited, so 50 people maximum. Get in if you want right now. Okay, so the latest development with space stock is obviously a kind of negative one, right? Let's just pull up the stock here on my telephone and show it to you, because the last months we were in the middle of Feb, where we are, about a month ago now, where the stock was almost at 11, we lost about 29%. And this has a lot of let's say reasons why we had one good event that, as you can see, helped the stock here to gain about 25%. The overall bad news is, Chairman Shamas Palihapitiya is leaving, and people said, oh, it was time, and some people say like, oh, it was a scam and whatsoever. This is just stupid, okay? This is like to argue that the company or him is scamming. It's like that's not possible, okay, in this scale, okay. This is not what they guys are doing. Those are very serious investors that put billions of dollars in companies, and they are growing those companies, and they have the right to move money around different investments to increase their return of investment, okay. This is normal for big investors. So second, we had the bad news that actually shareholders or part of the shareholders are getting into a lawsuit against Virgin Galactic, okay. So they are saying that the spaceship was not quite ready to fly and they flew it. It was a risk for the company, and Shamas and Richard Branson knew it, and they sold stock after the stock went up and so on and so forth. So I think the lawsuit will not have big legs, or will have short legs, if you say the right way, because think about it. The court that will see the papers and say, okay, but it was a test flight program, so it doesn't even matter which state the spaceship was, and they are going into enhancement period. They said they will go into enhancement period, so this argument is not really valid. On the other side, Richard Branson and Shamas Palihapitiya both earn millions of stocks still in the company, so why they should manipulate their own investment, right? And last but not least, I think that the general logic is that there is the shareholders that were not satisfied that the shares went up to 60 and then back now to 7, and try to get some money back, right? And they say, what we have to lose? A little bit of legal fees, but let's try it, right? So usually this ends either in a settlement where Virgin Galactic say, we don't want to do this bad press, let's close it, whatever, here have a couple of $1 million, or they are saying, no, come, let's bring it on, and we have nothing to hide, and let's go further. So those possibilities should be there. So it's a bad storm of news, but those are actually the best opportunities to buy if you're looking into, the history of stocks like Tesla, like Apple, like Amazon. All of those had like bad times. Every company have like bad news and so on, and then they thrive through it, and then looking back, those were the best times to buy. So why I'm still bullish on space? This is one of the most asked questions. Sometimes this question comes very polite in the comments, sometimes it comes very rude, like, why are you still pumping this shitty stock? Why are you still pumping this disaster and so on? And then I'm thinking like, okay, how you actually define a disaster? Because now let's consider two things. It's a company and it's the stock price, okay? The company usually make advantages, okay? In the space industry, it's like building a prototype, test flight it, get all the approvals and licenses, fly some test flights, and start operations, okay, and scale operations. Those like pretty much very simplified the processes of a space company, right? On the other side, the stock price is very, very, very dependent on market conditions, interest rates by the Fed, general hype about the stock, good or bad news about the company, and also development in the company itself. So you see, only one of 5 points are actually based on the performance of the company, okay? So you can see like back in the summer of 2021, you saw like crazy runs on stocks like Nikola, okay, which was crazy because this company was totally garbage, but there was like a hype about the stock and so on. So I think what people don't understand, the company is making great progress. I mean, they became a public company, they did the test flight program, they flew Richard Branson, they got the license, they are doing now the enhancement period and preparing for the commercial operations and then scaling the fleet. So they are making everything right. They are almost at the 2 last points, okay? They are finishing now the maintenance and then they are going into operations and they are doing the scaling of the fleet. So, then it's like a real big company in terms of flying, right? They will have more flights in 2024 than SpaceX is doing, by the way. All right, so it's really, really interesting. So this is on the one side. So the stock, on the other hand, was impacted by, first the overall run on the stock. Everything got pumped on the market, right? So after the IPO, the stock went under $10 and then shoot up to $32, then went down to $17, and then bounced up and down between 17 and 24 and 27, and then then we had the test flights and it went to I think 40-ish, and then it went down because there was a delay, and then it went up again, right, for the flights of Richard Branson and so on. So it's a very big ride up and down for Virgin Galactic, but in the end of the day, it's really something that is important to understand, that you need to separate that. There's a very nice video from Jeff Bezos that is actually explaining that the company is not the stock and the stock is not the company. However, those have always some friction together, and eventually, when the company will succeed and the more people will understand it, as more people want to be part of it, and the stock market goes up with Virgin Galactic. That's why, seeing this development in the company, even slow, but on the right track, is a good sign, and it's just giving the company more value over time. And that's why I'm still bullish on it. And I think while I'm putting down my cost average, and hopefully going under $10, that would be fantastic if I have, let's say, an overall average price of $6. That would be amazing. Okay, but it will not be the case because I bought over the last couple of months. But let's say my average will be $8, okay, or $9. And then at some point in 5 years, it will be, $50. So I 5x my portfolio within 5 years, and this is not possible with Tesla. This will be not possible with S&P 500 or any other stocks, in my personal opinion. Or it will be possible with other stocks, but not that I know of, that I am so involved with, right? There's huge risk, obviously, but huge return. I got recently a lot of messages, Danny, do you still consider to go all in when the share price of space go to $6? I really do think so, because 80% of my portfolio is in space. And I always like to live risky and do bold bets, okay? I had 100% of my portfolio in Tesla stock when Tesla was at $50, and I talked about it on YouTube. Now I have 80% of my portfolio in space, and as lower it goes, as more I see opportunity that it goes back to 20 levels, 30 levels, and then I already make like 200%, 300% on my money. So it's a no-brainer, because if I put otherwise my portfolio into the S&P 500, I for sure have less volatility. I for sure have surer gains. But I don't have the exponentially growth that I'm seeking with the size of my portfolio. So at $6, actually it will be a little bit less than $6, maybe like $5.50 or $5.80. Space will have around $1.5 billion in the bank, and it will represent a market cap of $1.5 billion. So actually you're buying into a company, and you represent every dollar that you put in, you represent a dollar into not some future revenue, not in some, assets, in real cash on their balance sheet, in their bank account, okay? So that's basically the mother of all value plays. And, usually this is a very, very nice thing. So this, just in addition to the first two topics, I think it's interesting to emphasize that I'm still, hoping it goes lower. I think there's an opportunity that it goes lower, but 75% I think we don't see lower levels. But, how many times I said this, right? So let's dive into the stock chart. So the chart of Virgin Galactic, there's nothing much, okay? As expected, we bounced off the down Bollinger Band border, and recovered a little bit from the $7.36 to $7.57, and as of the pre-market we are at $7.74. So not much is happening. I mean, again, the most important is that at some point with good news or the good market, we are going through the 50 moving average that is actually going down massively, obviously, as the stock goes further down. But once we can cross that, we can, maybe soon fight the $22 mark and the 200 moving average. And once we broke through that, we can see back like $30, maybe $35-ish, maybe towards the end of the year. This is my thinking, that at some point we will get to that. Other than that, we are still in the downtrend here, as you can see. Nothing much that you can say as a pattern, or nothing that is striking here. Volume wise, you got a nice recovery a little bit here towards the mid of Feb, but nothing much that could hold the stock for a longer period of time. But those are the times where you're loading up, okay? You're loading up when the stock is down at $7.73. I mean, when you bought the stock at 40, you would love it at 7. If you bought the stock at 20, you will love it at 7. If you bought the stock at 10, you will love it at 7, okay? So it's great opportunity in my personal opinion, so check it out, and see you tomorrow.